And as you know, as usual, Economics Unbound on your television on Thursday. Standing in for Thandeka Gqubule is Mbali Mthethwa this evening to give us an update on what to expect on the program at 9 tonight. Mbali, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, Tipiso. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, indeed, I am standing in for Thandeka Gqubule, who will not be able to join us today on the show. But today we are looking at exports, and we're essentially looking at the benefits of exports to emerging market economies like South Africa. We understand that with the national lockdowns across the globe, essentially it means that there are some restrictions in terms of trade and freedom of movement and the freedom of movement of goods and so on. And we look at the impact on local industries that something like that would have on local industries. We're going to be looking at the wine industry, which literally recently had an export ban lifted, and they are essentially able to export some of their goods. And we're looking at how the industry is going to benefit from that, given that they are unable to sell their products in South Africa because of that ban on all alcoholic beverages in South Africa. We're also going to be looking at the agricultural sector. We're going to be joined by Dr. Lita from the Land Bank, who's going to be talking to us about the impact of COVID-19 in the sector. We understand that we have heard concerns being raised by certain producers, particularly in the avocado industry and avocado producers, who have been talking about how prices have dropped quite significantly, and smaller players also struggling to make ends meet because they're unable to sell their products to restaurants and hotels because of this lockdown. So we're essentially going to be looking at how exports, the role that exports can play with regards to assisting these industries during a lockdown.
Well, thank you so much for that, Mbali Mthethwa. Join us on Economics Unbound this evening at